Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.
Well, you cannot extricate Nigeria from what is happening globally. Nigeria is part of a global community, and whatever are the issues internationally also manifest here. No one can be happy with the global state of affairs. Look at the terror, the genocide going on in the Middle East, perpetrated by Israel and supported by the United States and other Western countries. The situation in Ukraine, the situation in the Sudan, the situation in South America, in Venezuela, and all that. So there are eruption points all over the world, and Nigeria is not an exception. Nigeria has its own fair share of issues to tackle. You talk about the insecurity and the resurgence of terror groups and all that. These are clear manifestations of neglects of the past. We treated our educational system with levity. We have out-of-school children, which are veritable recruitment grounds for these terror organizations and all that. So now the Bola Tinubu administration has found itself enmeshed in these issues. I'm not saying past governments didn't make their own efforts to sort out these issues, but these issues keep evolving as a result of the defective nature of the foundations which we laid in the past and all that. So but it's the responsibility of government. They campaigned to say they were going to restore security. So it's their responsibility to restore security. But I think with the assurances we got from the National Security Advisor last week, this terror organization will fizzle out very soon.
Very soon? How soon is very soon? Because that's what we'll be hearing over time now.
No, if you saw the Boko Haram insurgency was at its peak at a point. People thought Boko Haram was a cat with 9 lives. But now, Boko Haram is no longer part of the conversation. You understand? Boko Haram is largely deflated and all that. The terrorism in the north, the banditry in the northwest was also at its peak at a point. The narrative everywhere in the world where you go, you see there's kidnapping, banditry and all that. All those things have also been minimized. Where we are now was the epicenter of the herders-farmers clashes. Do you get to hear about that anymore? No, so
it picked up during the period of Otom.
Good. But because of the character of the person who was governor then. But now, things are towing down. So this will also tow down.
So, essentially, you are seeing Nigeria out of the woods in the near future.
I'm a very optimistic person.
Assuming you are given the responsibility to turn Nigeria around,
yes.
What would you have done to change the situation?
I don't think I would do anything different from what is being done now. First of all, is to strengthen our intelligence gathering capacity, to get stakeholder cooperation, community involvement, participation and all that, because these terrorists live in communities and the security agencies need information or intelligence that we emanate from the communities. If in the part of the Abuja where I live, for instance, any new person that moves in, it's known. Every neighbor says, oh, hi, you're new. Where are you from? And people get to know new faces and all that. So if there are suspicious faces, we should have duties as citizens and obligations as citizens to be able to report that. The issue is that people get to shield these people. Either they're intimidated into silence or they are complicit in these activities by their own silence. So strengthen your community policing or community participation effort, and strengthen your intelligence gathering and preempt. You do not wait for terrorists to strike before you react. You meet them right at the planning stage and all that. That, I think, is the solution to this.
If you recall, a few days ago, sometime last week, Americans went to the poll to elect a new president, which they did. Within a few hours, the new president emerged, and the loser congratulated the other one. Will you also want to see that happening in Nigeria?
Yeah, it's a positive, You're talking of a political culture that has evolved for over 400 years. And all that. We're a very young democracy, and we will get there. The truth of the matter is that the concept of acquisition of political power here is different. People see political power here as a means to achieving personal ends. So the desperation for power is a lot. But in those places, the motivation for seeking power is to serve. So if you offer yourself to serve people and they say, no, we don't want you to serve us.
But again, look at the duration. After election, a few hours after, votes were counted, and they have a lot of population, more than Nigeria, but ours will be weeks before you know the leader.
No, my brother, you cannot compare apples to oranges. America is far more advanced technologically. America is far more advanced politically. The institutions are stronger and all that. People know that every first Tuesday of November in an election year, elections are going to hold. Do you understand? People know the method of counting votes. You understand? There's a system, there's an electoral college system in place through which they use and all that. So you cannot say it will be unfair for you to compare the United States with Nigeria, which is just 25 years old right now in a democracy. They too have their own, they made their own mistakes and corrected them along the line. So we are also evolving. We should make our own mistakes and correct them along the line. So America, the first election held in America in 1776. In here, we started in 1999. We're only 25 years old. So we're just a fraction of that. So remember, we came from a very tumultuous period of military rule and all that. So you don't expect us to skyrocket. You don't and become the United States in 25 years. That won't be fair. First of all, we are battling with basic infrastructure. Not every part of the country is covered by internet. Do you understand? So not every part of the country has electricity and all that. So you don't expect results of election within 24 hours.
As a parting shot, what would you tell Nigerians about the future of Nigeria?
The future of Nigeria is very bright. Excuse me. The country is blessed. I've never seen. Okay, in Africa, maybe the Democratic Republic of the Congo can compare to Nigeria in terms of resources. All we need to do is for people to believe in their own country. Don't make statements disparaging your country because it doesn't help. You know, so it's like cutting your own nose to spite your face. When everything bad is saying, oh, this is Nigeria. For instance, I was in an airplane and they announced that please disembarking will be row by row. And then somebody from back suddenly, from the back,
That's Nigeria.
Yeah, suddenly goes in front. We say, they said it's row by row. The guy turns around and say, this is Nigeria. So you see, we have this notion about our country, a negative notion about our country, and they will turn around and complain. How can you say something, that kind of misbehavior is Nigerian? That means he's a self-defeatist. That's what you call self-abnegation. So Nigeria, people should be positive. Nigeria will be good. Every country has gone through what we're going through now. Some went through wars. Germany and Japan emerged from the ruins of war to be economic giants that they are today. We are nowhere near the destructions that happened in those countries. So if we keep faith and believe in the country will be good for all of us.
Welcome to Asset Television, your best station for news, politics, business, sports and entertainment. Your one-stop channel, Asset Television.